You know what?
Hello, everyone. Welcome.
I'm going to need you.
Good afternoon. Hi.
There you go.
Thanks for joining us this afternoon, and thanks for being here. We'll get started in just a few moments. And in the meantime, if you'd like to introduce yourself in the chat, please take a moment to do so. We'd love to get to know who joined us today. And other than that, we'll be getting started in just a few moments. Good afternoon. Welcome. I'm going to let a couple minutes go by, and then we're going to get started with our opening remarks. But in the meantime, like I said, please introduce yourself in the chat. We're really happy that you've decided to join us today. All right, so in the interest of time, I'll just go ahead and get started with my remarks. Get started. Okay, welcome everyone. I'll just begin with a short introduction. So my name is Shelby and I'm the event coordinator for Voice, which is an organization that advocates for quality care options for residents of long-term care and older adults in the greater St. Louis and Northeast Missouri regions. And I'm honored to be hosting today's conversation on putting the care in caregiving. This is led by Alicia Christopher from the Caregiver Club here in St. Louis. And we're so happy that she could join us and lead this conversation today. But before we get started, I have a few updates on our programs here at Voice. So hang in there and we will get started shortly. So first, I want to say thank you to our education sponsors because their support allows us to do what we're doing here today and provide many educational opportunities to the greater community. So thank you to Eamon, Gaitner, and Capriano, attorneys at law, Your Estate Matters, LLC, Enterprise Bank and Trust, Everspring Pharmacy, the FDC Foundation, Infinium Pharmacy, and Quinn Estate and Elder Law. And it is with those sponsors' support that Voice is able to reach our goal of providing education to empower individuals and families to make better informed decisions about the continuum of care for themselves and their loved ones. We are ecstatic to provide free education for the community and continuing education at a low cost for professionals. So as you can see, we are booked and busy, and we have a variety of topics to bring you both in person and online. So we hope that you will join us at a session or two. And we can't forget to mention our awesome partners from the St. Louis Public and County Libraries to St. Louis University and all the organizations we partner with as speakers. Thank you. And all the information about the presentations listed, including the times and locations, can be found directly on our website's event page. Lastly, I want to bring your attention to our conference, which we just announced. And this is a half-day long-term care conference, and it will be on the morning of April 17th. This conference is an opportunity for community members who are passionate about long-term care and professionals such as administrators, social workers, directors of nursing, and more to join together to share critical information and best practices. So our goal is to empower and protect older adults by equipping their service providers with insights into their experiences as residents. We hope that you will join us for a morning of learning and sharing together. And the information for the conference is live on our website and linked in these slides. So you'll be able to see that once I send these slides to you. And I just have a few reminders before I introduce our speakers. So closed captioning is available. And so if you'd like to turn that on, you can use the More button on the Zoom control panel and enable the captions. The webinar is being recorded and will be made available to you via email and on our YouTube channel within 7 days. There will be an evaluation that will pop up on your screen at the end of the webinar, so please take the time to let us know your thoughts on today's presentation. We really appreciate your feedback and we'll use it to improve for next time. And as time allows, we will answer your questions, so please put them in the Q&A or the chat and we'll try to answer them either live or after the webinar. So without further ado, Alicia Christopher and Jody Finney are co-founders and directors of the Caregiver Club, and both from St. Louis. Alicia graduated with a Bachelor of Arts degree from William and Mary College, where she played Division I field hockey, and has spent the last 20 years coaching and dedicating her time to serving on nonprofit boards and committees. She's married and a mother of 4. So without further ado, I'll let Alicia take it away.
Great. Thank you. Thank you so much, Shelby. And thank you for being with us today. This will stop sharing. I am going to jump onto here. So, good morning. Thank you for being with us. And we are going to talk about compassion fatigue in caregiving and putting the care back in caregiving. As Shelby said, I am a co-founder of the Caregiver Club. My father has frontal temporal dementia. So he is at home with many caregivers. I am kind of a secondary caregiver. My mom is the primary caregiver. And we have had about 6 years of going through this journey. So let's talk about some statistics for the caregivers. The majority, about 80% of those with Alzheimer's and dementia are receiving care in their homes. That's quite a large number. So more than 16 million Americans provide more than 17 billion hours of unpaid care for those with Alzheimer's and related dementias. That's a large, large number. And about a quarter of those, 25% of those, are the sandwich generation. So they are caring for their children at home as well as their elderly parents. It is also probably not surprising to know that those caregivers have more depressive symptoms, emotionally, physically, financially. They say that their stress is high or very high. I don't think that is too shocking to hear. What's going on here? There we go. Compassion fatigue or burnout in caregivers, it can manifest in different signs and symptoms, both emotionally and physically. And obviously that depends on the type of individual you're caring for and where they are and what stage they are in their dementia journey. My father has frontal temporal, but whether it's Alzheimer's or vascular dementia, they all have kind of different symptoms and signs, and we'll kind of go through those that way. So emotional exhaustion. I think we can all relate to this one where you're just drained and overwhelmed by the demands of the role. You just feel like you can't take on one more thing. You can experience a sense of depletion, just kind of have difficulty finding joy in your work and in your day. Depersonalization. It's kind of a coping mechanism where you just kind of detach a little bit and you are a little more cynical in your interactions with those that you're caring for. It's just a way of coping and getting some distance from kind of the reality and the day that you're going through. Another sign or symptom is reduced empathy. Some caregivers can find it challenging to empathize with those that they're caring for. You feel disconnected. It's kind of another kind of a coping mechanism to give you some distance and some help you with the reality of what you're going through. So many people find that reduced empathy can be a problem as they're going through caregiving. Increased irritability. I know this one has gotten me a few times with my dad, where you're just easily frustrated, irritable, short-tempered. I know we were going through Dairy Queen and he just wanted a vanilla cone so badly. And it was just over and over and over. And I did lose my temper. I'm not proud to say it, but I did. And I just said, Dad, stop. So I know increased irritability when you're giving care to someone who needs you 24/7. And it can be a very difficult process. Some other signs and symptoms, physical symptoms, of course, headaches, fatigue, tiredness, gastrointestinal issues. I will say when I'm overtired, I definitely get a headache. So those are signs and symptoms of caregiver fatigue. Difficulty concentrating, finding it hard to focus on the task that you're doing, and getting, being a little bit more forgetful of what you're doing or what you're supposed to be doing and trying to make decisions can be difficult as you're caring for someone at 24/7. Feelings of helplessness and hopelessness. I hope with everybody that is here that you do have some kind of a group or a support group to be with you, because those feelings of helplessness and hopelessness, they're real and they're overwhelming. And at times they can really get you down. But we're going to get into some ways to help combat those and get through those. But those are very normal feelings during your journey, and some days better than others. Isolation is another sign or a symptom of compassion fatigue when you're just kind of overwhelmed. you withdraw from social interactions, which is actually really good for you. You need to be in the community and interacting with those. And that isolation, it makes you more alone, and it leads to further feelings of loneliness and despair. And I know sometimes it's easier to think, I'll stay home and I don't want to go out, and I'm just going to stay at my house with my loved one with dementia. But that really causes some issues, and kind of takes you deeper down that isolation path and that isolation journey and hopelessness and helplessness. So we will find out in the next few slides about getting out into the community is so helpful. Decreased job satisfaction. So caregivers can experience a loss of fulfillment in what they're doing and in their job. Become resentful and frustrated towards those that you're caregiving to. And finally, increased absenteeism, where you struggle to maintain a consistent level of productivity and engagement in your role, in your job. And that is a very normal thing as well, as you're going through the stresses and the 24/7 commitment to caring and loving somebody that has dementia or Alzheimer's. So one of the biggest things, it's essential for caregivers to know these signs, to recognize these signs in yourself, and to seek help and support for them. There's a lot of great support systems out there. And, also being kind to yourself and knowing that, yeah, I did lose my temper with my dad once. It's okay. It's normal. And it's a tiring job, but it is so, sometimes I just feel I'm so blessed to be with them. And I know that these signs and symptoms can be short and limited if you can figure out a way to get through them. So self-care is not selfish. It is essential for your health and the resilience as a caregiver to give back to yourself. Make sure you're taking care of yourself. Prioritize your self-care. You can better fulfill your caregiving responsibilities when you have your self-care met. And again, it's not selfish. I feel like I've talked to so many people that just say, I don't have time. It's just, I don't need to do it for me. And it really is, as a caregiver, the number one thing you do need to do, because, your own physical and emotional health and well-being, if you can't be at the top of your game, you're not going to be able to care for your loved one in the best way possible. So ways to implement self-care as a caregiver, to set boundaries. I know this can be hard sometimes, but your caregiver responsibilities and your personal time, and to set boundaries so that you do have time for yourself, and to make sure that time is sacred and that you commit to that time. Not to take on one more thing when be able to say no, learning to say no. It's hard. I think it's very hard as a caregiver, because I believe caregivers are also those kind of people that love to help others and to be there for others. So please remember that your time, your personal time that you decide to make for you is a priority. Prioritize self-care activities. So what are your hobbies? What time is good for you to exercise? What time can you truly just simply take a break and relax and recharge? Your self-care activities. Just make a note of some of the things that you love to do, even if it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, because I know sometimes those days get hectic and a little filled. But what are those hobbies and exercises that you enjoy doing, and continue to try to do those? Practicing mindfulness and relaxation techniques, meditation, deep breathing. I know the box breathing is something I know the Marines do, and I know that we've heard it from several different people, where you breathe in for 5 seconds, hold it for 5 seconds, breathe out for 5 seconds, hold it for 5 seconds, and to do that for 2 or 3 minutes. Some days that might be the only break that you get. I'm hoping that you can really take time for your hobbies and your exercise. But even deep breathing and meditation like that can really reduce your stress in that moment and promote relaxation for the rest of your day. Seek social support. Your peers. So obviously, about Voice, which is a fantastic organization. And I hope you have other support groups and family members and friends that you can lean on to share your experiences with them. And it just helps validate what you're going through and gives you that extra support. So those support systems are extremely important to help you as a caregiver. Delegate tasks. This one I'm not very good at because I feel like I just want to get things done quickly and my own way. But I have found, especially with my dad, to delegate tasks to my siblings and knowing that my mom and dad will have food for the weekend, and to go ahead and let other people help you. Most people are very willing and anxious really to help out and to be there for you. So if you can delegate some of those tasks, maybe picking up medicine, maybe dropping off food, maybe coming in and helping so that you can get your exercise class in. Don't be afraid to delegate those tasks to people, because truly I think people are very willing to help if they know what you need. Maintaining a healthy lifestyle. Obviously, this is important for all of us to stay hydrated, eat a balanced diet, prioritize exercise. That exercise is really a big deal for the caregiver. If you can sneak in 10 minutes in the morning or whenever you can, because your whole day goes better if you can get up and get some exercise in, and try to eat healthy when you're with your loved one, and to stay hydrated. Dehydration can really be a problem, especially with those with Alzheimer's and dementia, but for yourself as well. So I know they have those fun bottles where you can see how much you've drank, how many glasses you've had in a day. What is it? 8 glasses a day. So maybe find one of those and make that a priority for you. Get adequate sleep. I know my mom struggles with this one the most because my dad is at home. 8 hours of quality sleep, I'm pretty sure she would say that's not possible for her. It is something she really works on and really tries to do. And having that bedtime routine is really important, to do the same thing every night, get off of the electronics, screens early, and get yourself kind of ready for bed. As everybody knows, sleep is so important. And I can tell those nights when my mom's been up with my dad, I can tell because she's tired and she's a little edgier. And so adequate sleep is a very big deal for caregivers. Try to get as much sleep as you can. Engaging in enjoyable activities. What are those hobbies? Again, listening to music, gardening, things that you love. When you have set your boundaries and you have that time to go do something for yourself, what are those enjoyable activities for you? What do you love doing? My mom and I try to walk in the park when my dad has a professional caregiver come in, because she loves to get out of the house and go for a walk. So try to find those activities for you that really bring you joy and kind of relax you at the same time. Take regular breaks. I was talking to my mom about this webinar we were doing, and she kind of laughed at that. She was like, regular breaks, right? When do you want me to do that? So I know some of these are difficult. It's just really trying to find that time to find a break throughout the day to rest and recharge. That box breathing, again, is another great activity. It can be 2 to 3 minutes, but it really does kind of change your body and your vagus nerve. It kind of calms you down. So if you can do that, if you can get help in the home, if you can delegate some responsibility to someone to come over to give you those regular breaks, it'll make you a better caregiver. I know that's not always possible, but something to strive for. And practicing self-compassion. Be kind to yourself, especially during the difficult times. I know how hard it is as a caregiver. You're doing a great job. And really, we're all doing the best we can in the moment. And so, as I said, when I kind of lost my temper with my dad, I was upset with myself, but I know everybody is trying to do the best they can. And when you're on 24/7 and you're caring for somebody, it's difficult. So know that you're doing a great job. Prioritize yourself when you can. And just be kind to yourself. We're going to go into some of the St. Louis resources for caregivers. If there's any questions, we could take them now, or if anybody has any questions.
Yeah, so there's been a couple people with their hands raised. I just lowered them all. So if you have a question and you want to raise your hand or you want to throw it in the chat, go ahead. I see now there's one hand raised, so I will allow that individual to talk and we'll listen to their question. They'd like to?
Jack.
Yeah. Okay, or maybe Jack will put it in the chat in
Chat.
a minute. Okay. Anyone else? Any takers? Okay,
No, we
well,
can.
not at the moment. So,
Okay, we can keep going. So we're going to look at resources for the St. Louis caregivers. Again, I am a co-founder of the Caregiver Club. My father has frontotemporal dementia, and our mission is to help those with Alzheimer's and dementia by supporting the caregivers. We are 100% caregiver focused. Jody and I, as our parents started having memory loss and memory issues, Jody's mom died in last April of Alzheimer's disease, and my father is still with us and has frontotemporal. He is extremely inappropriate and funny and busy. And we really want to help caregivers because we're on the same journey. We understand the struggles that you face. We know it's 24/7, and we know that each day really doesn't go as planned, but there's still a lot of love and joy to be had in caregiving. So at the Caregiver Club, we have 4 different programs. We started our program with these cards that say, I'm caring for someone with Alzheimer's and dementia. We appreciate your patience and kindness. We really believe that with knowledge comes understanding, and with understanding comes compassion. These cards can help you out in public. I hand them out all the time with my father at restaurants. Had to take him to Arizona for a doctor's appointment, and everybody on the plane had one for sure. And then when we went through TSA, it was just so helpful because these cards really, they let you tell your story without having to say a word. You are kind of level the playing field as you go. And it just so decreases your stress when you go out. And I know that some people are on different paths and different journeys, and some people might not be ready for these kind of cards. But if you're out with your loved one and you can use them, I cannot even express how relaxed has come back kinder, nicer, and more helpful. Some tips for the caregiver cards, because people have said, at first it's kind of hard to give them out. Anytime a hostess or a waiter hands me a menu, I hand them a card. It's just kind of an instant exchange. I always have them in my credit card slot when I go out. And I sometimes give them to the hostess. I took my dad to a baseball game because he loves baseball. And I just said, hey, this is Pat. We're only staying for 3 innings. And the kindness and really the love from everybody around was great. I mean, it was great. He was upset they didn't catch the ball, and everybody couldn't have been nicer and kinder and more helpful. And we did. We stayed 2 innings, and then that was enough. And we headed home. So one of our programs that we run that's fully funded is called our Caregiver Respite Initiative. So 3 times a year, we collect nominations for caregivers. You can nominate yourself, or you can be nominated by somebody else. It can be a private caregiver at home, a personal caregiver, or a professional caregiver, either one. You just go onto our website and you nominate yourself or have somebody nominate you. And then 3 times a year, we give out appreciation packages. We just let you know we see you, we understand the journey you're on, to let you know that you're not alone. We send out our caregiver gift set, which is 20 of our cards, our bracelet, and our little magnetic button. And then many caregivers will get a monetary check in the mail, really for them, to help them reset their mental health and to kind of do something just for themselves. I'm going to see if this works, technology, and see this is somebody that received.
Happy Thankful Thursday, everybody. How's everybody doing? Hopefully you all are well. These are tears of joy. I am having a very, very nice morning. Just getting things done around here, laundry, cooking, just going through emails. And I went downstairs to get my mail, and I received this envelope in my mail. And it is from the Caregiver Club. And I wasn't expecting anything from the Caregiver Club. And oh my gosh, let me show you guys. Okay, so I laid everything out. I'm just like, I'm a teary mess. I just am so thankful and grateful. Just everything. Look at this beautiful certificate. Thank you so much. And I didn't even know what was in the envelope. I accidentally ripped my certificate. But everything in here is so valuable. Look at these great tips for these beautiful cards. These cards are awesome. I have some, and they're great to have whenever I'm out and about with mom. And thank you for your parents must be very, very proud. And thank you for all your support that you are providing, and most of all, this amazing gift. It's so needed. Thank you so much. I'm telling you, I'm a cheering mess. Thankful and so fitting for Thankful Thursday. But thank you again, Jody and Alicia. This is awesome. So unexpected, and we do what we do because we want to care for our loved ones. We want to be there for our families, and some days are hard, and some days are easy. Some weeks are hard, and then some weeks are easier. So this definitely helps. So I appreciate it. Once again, thank you so much.
So please go on. I know all of the caregivers on here deserve to be nominated and to get an appreciation package in the mail, because we want you to know you're not on this journey alone. We are here with you. You just go to the www.thecaregiverclub.org and you can nominate yourself. Just give us a little information on what you're doing and how you're doing. And our next one closes May 31st. So please jump on the website and nominate. How do I get that? There we go. So this program.
Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
There was just a question in the chat about, is that something that anyone can be nominated for? Or is it just local to St. Louis?
No, that is not just local to St. Louis. Anybody across the country. We've sent to about 12 to 15 different states. So just go on and nominate yourself or nominate someone that you know that's a caregiver, and we would love it. May 31st is the closing of our next respite initiative. It's our national program.
And just real quick, if you could go back to the card again, just to show that, and
okay.
I'll just remind everyone that you'll be sent the slides. Is there a picture of it in the slides at all?
There is. Honestly,
okay.
I don't know how to go backwards.
That's fine. It's fine. It'll
sorry.
be. It's in the slides. It'll be sent.
It's in the slides. It is. Here's
people, and then yeah.
Yes. Was there a question about them?
Just to show it again.
Oh, so. Okay. Okay. In St. Louis, we're in 5 different retail stores, but you can also get them online.
Thank you.
Okay. Another one of our programs is called the Caregiver Companion Outings, and these are our local outings here in St. Louis. It's our kind of take on a traditional support group where you get out and enjoy an outing in St. Louis with your loved one with dementia. So we have about one a month. It really is a great way to keep you engaged, to reduce isolation, and to get you out to meet other caregivers and to be in community with people that understand what you're going through. It's a very safe and welcoming environment. So we went to that painting spot last month and did some painted pottery. Next month, we're headed to the zoo on March 6th. So if you go online, you can always register for that. But we really want to get caregivers out doing some fun events and meeting other caregivers, and really just being in an environment and safe environment, knowing that everybody knows what you're going through. And trust me, my dad gets to come to these, and I love when my mom and dad come. And as I said, frontal temporal, my dad is, he can say some really funny and strange things, but knowing that you're with people that understand, it really is a fun outing. So here are some of we have been to Grant's Farm. We had an educational piece. We went to the St. Louis Zoo, and in the Living World, we had an educational piece. We had a great day there because that polar bear was in rare form. He was given high fives, and everybody really, really enjoyed the zoo. And then we also have dinners at restaurants at night because we try to change it up. So we were at the Women's Exchange for dinner. It really turned into a party. Caregivers pulled their tables together and met other people and made some friendships. The third thing that we do is something new at the Caregiver Club that we've just started. It's called dementia-friendly dining. We are working with local restaurants to make dining kind of a more enjoyable experience for both the caregiver and their loved one with dementia. We have trained the staff. We have some videos kind of on best practices on how to help those with Alzheimer's and dementia. Our first partners is Salt and Smoke, which is local in St. Louis. They have 3 different restaurants, and the Women's Exchange. So we're going to have a designated page kind of on our website where caregivers can go and find some restaurants that they know that the restaurants are committed to helping those with dementia and their loved ones to have a better experience and to be able to go out to dinner. They're looking at things like having a certain time from 5 to 6:30, or making a smaller menu, or putting you in a quieter area, just to make that dining experience a little easier and a little smoother. So we're always looking for more restaurants. Again, this is kind of our new program that we've just started, so we're building this out. But if you have any suggestions or ideas, or know any restaurants that you think would be willing to partner with us, we would love, love, love to hear about that. Some other St. Louis resources. Respite is it's a kind of a short stay, or relief from something difficult or unpleasant. Caregivers use respite when they have a vacation or they need a break. It can be 2 days, it can be 2 weeks, and it can be longer than that. I have visited the Anthology Senior Living Center's respite rooms. They're absolutely beautiful and simple. So if you need to get out of town, or if you just need, a day break to give yourself that break, Anthology's rooms are amazing. Sunrise Senior Living also has 3 sites in Webster Groves and Chesterfield and De Pere. And the Promenade Senior Living also has 3 sites. So those are just some opportunities for that short period of respite stay outside of your home. Clarendale and Clayton also has some other options. And then the other thing are the adult daycares. We really have worked with and met some amazing people that run some adult daycares. The Family Partners Adult Day in De Pere, Senior and Company in St. Peter's, and the Adult Day at the J. And most daycare centers, they're trained in personal centered care. They really have activities to keep them stimulated, and some meaningful activities during the day. And they're just some great ways, if you can, to give yourself a day off and let your loved one go and experience some fun with other people and get out into the community in different ways. So those are 3 different adult days. As you see on the map, there's plenty of others, but these are kind of 3 that we've partnered with, that we've actually gone to and talked with and been with. So give those a try if you're looking for something like that. These are just some of the references and things from the stats and statistics, and just want to thank you all for being here and for being caregivers, for giving your time, your patience, and your love to someone. I do understand how difficult it is, and the Caregiver Club really wants to be a positive voice for those out there that are going through this journey with their loved one, because we understand what you're going through, and we really do want to be here for you.
All right. Thank you so much, Alicia. And we do have a hand raised again. Jack has raised his hand again, so I'll try to allow him to talk. I know he had a question in the chat too. So, but the question.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, Jody, you talked about the caregiver of the quarter, or the caregiver awards that you give.
Correct. The respite. Yes. Our respite initiative. Yes.
Can one qualify if he is no longer a 24/7 caregiver, but was one for 7 years, and then I continue to be a caregiver just by going to the memory care center where my wife is and trying to care for everybody there, just as a friend? I mean, could that qualify?
Absolutely. I mean, you are a caregiver, and even if your wife is in a facility that is taking care of her, you're still absolutely a caregiver for her. So yes, Jack, absolutely. Go nominate yourself for sure. You have been on quite a journey, it sounds like, and that you are 100% qualified.
And one other question: Can we go to these outings? My wife would not go along. Could I go by myself just to be with other caregivers?
So, that has actually come up a few times. Yes, we are working on some just caregiver only events that are just for caregivers, even if your spouse cannot come. But yes, if you would like to come, we would love to have you. We are always just looking to make the caregiver's life a little easier, to do something to give you some joy, some time, a time out, and give you that experience. We would love to have you.
Okay, and I'm leaving just a few minutes for my Alzheimer's support group that I attend every month, and I will bring your attention to them.
Right. Yes, we have a very good relations with the Alzheimer's Association. In fact, they actually dual brand our cards. You might be in a group that might not have those, but the Alzheimer's Association and the Caregiver Club is on one side. So we have worked really well with them and have been trying to get into some support groups and talk to them. But yes, please let them know. Let them know about our respite initiative and our outings. And then again, our dementia-friendly dining that's coming up.
Very good. Thank you.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jack, for your questions and engagement. So next we had a question about the adult daycares. If there were any west of 270. I don't remember the map, but if you can answer that.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Let me see on that. West of 270. St. Peter's and St. Charles area. I don't know how to get back to the beginning. Do you know how do I get back to the beginning? Or how do I go backwards? Oh, there we go. I did it. Right there, west of 270. So I don't know exactly what you're looking for, but if you go in and put in adult day and zip code, that's really kind of how you can find different ones in different places around St. Louis. There are many, as I said, we've really only been in contact with 2 or 3 of them, but I know that there's a lot of different ones in the area.
And Jack actually put in the chat that one in Fenton, Serenity Daycare on Bowles, and that's in Fenton. But yeah, Google Maps is very intuitive with that.
Right. And somebody that, if Jack knows that one, it's always great to know someone that, has been there and has talked to people there or has had a loved one there.
Definitely. And then there was just another question in the chat about receiving slides. Yes, every participant and registrant will receive slides and the recording afterwards. So, yeah. And I don't see any more questions at the moment, but try to get those in. And Alicia, you guys just had a caregiver outing last week, right?
We did.
Can you tell the participants a little more about that?
Sure. Last week we went to a place called that painting spot in Creve Coeur. So the caregivers and their loved ones with dementia came out and we did some pottery painting and had lunch there and made some super fun things, some really neat vases. We had plates, we had all different kinds of artwork people did, but it was super fun. Everybody getting together. And again, caregivers met each other, sat at tables together, kind of interacted. Another really fun event we did this year that was different was we did Time for Dinner, where we underwrote the whole thing. Obviously, we paid for it, and you got to come and make 4 dinners and bring them home. You can either put them in the freezer or the fridge, and they'd be ready to go. Because I know that what's for dinner question is always a big one, especially if you've had a long day. So we did an event 2 months ago at Time for Dinner. March 6th is our zoo event. We will also be going to the Botanical Gardens and back to Grant's Farm. And then we're doing a lunch at Salt and Smoke in April in Ellisville. That is going to be Edwardsville? Oh, okay. Edwardsville. Sorry. So we'll be doing those, a lunch out there. And then most of our activities, we do have an educational piece, just some fun things, like the tram going up for Grant's Farm is always fun. And they bring us some animals and come and talk about the animal, and we got to brush the horse and stuff like that. So they're about 2 hours. We do keep them small because we don't, and we don't want to increase agitation or chaos. We obviously know this group. We keep them to about 35 people, 40 at tops, so that we can keep them small and manageable. We always have wheelchairs accessible, and we always let you know how much walking will, be included, so you can gauge if it's a good event for you.
Is there a certain time of day that you guys like to do those? Just based on, the increased chances for irritability later in the day and things like that?
We mostly do 10:30 to 12:30 or 10 to 12. We don't do many at night. The botanical gardens we do at night because they actually close it for us. So it's just fantastic because we have the whole gardens to ourselves. But most of them are probably 10:30 to 12:30 on Tuesdays or Wednesdays, is kind of what we've been seeing when we ask, is kind of what people say is best for them. But we don't really have a set date. We should have most of them up on our website where you can see what's coming and we're trying to get the symphony. We're trying to go to the Muni to a rehearsal during the day because we know it's really hard to get to the Muni at night with your loved one. So we're looking into some more of those. Or if you have any suggestions or things that you think would be fun, we'd love to hear them because we're always up for new adventures.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I don't see any other questions in the chat, so I'm just going to go ahead and share this screen here that has the contact information for the Caregiver Club here. So you're welcome to email them anytime with any of your questions. And we'll just go ahead and get wrapped up for the day. So we hope that you found these insights helpful and will join us for our next webinar, our next free educational webinar on March 19th, or an in-person session at the St. Louis Public Library. And definitely take a look at the Caregiver Club's website. They've got much more information about their programs and how you can get involved yourself too on there.
Yeah.
So thank you again, Alicia.
Thank you, Shelby. This was great. And we'd love to see all of you.
Right. Have a great rest of your day, everyone. Thanks again for joining us.